Wait, you know how to write?
Huh?
You're a doctor, you know how to write?
Oh.
Okay.
Alright. Just stand up.
Yeah.
Keep it away from them.
This is called,
Into my shoe.
I don't know if you ever heard the statement, all I ever needed to know I learned in kindergarten. Okay, this is somewhat similar, but somewhat different. So it's called, all I ever needed to know I learned in Sunday school and church. First off, I'm going to add a little bit of this. I learned faithfulness. Faithfulness to God, faithfulness to church when you didn't feel like being there, or Sunday school, and faithfulness to other people. Number two, I learned forgiveness, meaning I learned that unfortunately we all do stuff that we shouldn't have done, and me being the chief of the, chief of sinners, and so I'm not calling you chief of sinners, but I'm trying to, just telling you how it is. Then next, I learned servanthood, and that means serving other people, doing things that, some things you wouldn't do for other people, like you wouldn't clean out under a dumpster unless you're getting paid for it. But there's some things that you wouldn't do for money, and so there's servanthood that we learn to do for others that we probably not do for our own selves. Also, I learned the value of God for a lifetime. So when you're in church and you're trying to decipher what you're going to do for your life, it's good that you can see and have direction from people that are older than you as to what your life can be. Next, I learned stewardship. That's stewardship of our time and our money, and that translates into how we live our life throughout, as we are stewardship of our family time, as well as our time that we devote to service and make a difference in the world. Next, I learned self-control, and that means I'm still learning that one. So it takes a lot of time when we always know that we're exactly right, and a lot of times we're probably not right. So that makes it a little tough, but God's still teaching me a lot about self-control. Next, I learned purity, and that I'm meaning that God can keep our lives pure from a lot of trash that we don't want to have to suffer later on. Keep us pure until we're married. He can keep us pure until we're dead. And sometimes we don't know which one of those are which. But they're all anyway. And the other thing I learned in church or Sunday school was leadership, trying to help people advance in their thought and wisdom for the future. And next, I've learned, this is a big one, and y'all can kind of figure this out if you like it or not, but making adjustments to personal freedom to prevent others from stumbling. So just because I don't feel that something is wrong or right, sometimes I need to adjust what I'm doing to help prevent someone else from stumbling. That's kind of a second level type of deal. And lastly, I learned that prayer is a big deal. And the other thing that I learned is that we don't read our Bible and learn what it says, that we are going into a war, kind of like going to a gunfight with a knife. So you're going to get killed.